All right, folks, this is a 2023 Lexus GX460. And if you were to put a gun to my head and say, absolutely tell me the next vehicle that you are going to buy, I would say it's this vehicle. Now, I would probably get like a 2020 because Toyotas last forever. And I know, this thing has it gets like 16 in the city, 19 on the highway. But what you spend in gas, you're going to save in maintenance and upkeep. Like, this vehicle will last forever. It is a really good vehicle, and if I bought it today, I can give it to one of my kids when they learn to drive. That's how highly I think of this vehicle, and I think this is a good spec. It is kind of a pearl white color. It is metallic paint. I like the blacked out wheels, so it looks somewhat aggressive. I know the grille can be a bit polarizing. Only time will tell on that. But just stepping around this vehicle, I like the size of the tires on it. This one is rocking 18-inch wheels. So you don't have, this is like a truck-based SUV, by the way, and you don't have like massive rims on here, but it's still very, very capable because you have chunky tires and you have clearance in these wheel wells. So stepping around back, I mean, it's not the most handsome looking vehicle, honestly. You know, it's more traditional looking, and I would say the Q7, the Audi Q7 definitely looks better. But let's take a quick look at this vehicle. Right, and we'll start in the driver's side. And when getting this vehicle or approaching it, you have to have measured expectations and know what you're getting into. I like this chrome accenting, by the way. I like this keyhole right here, even though this is keyless entry. These doors open wide, but like I said, this is a truck-based SUV. This is not a crossover, and it's not going to be the flashiest luxury vehicle, but it's a forever vehicle, and I love it. I love it has a running board here, kick plate here, electronic seating here. You have memory seats here. This is no frills buttonry, but it feels super, super solid. This looks like feels like it'll last centuries. It's not doing too much in here. I like this inlay right here. This is soft touch. That's pretty cool. There is a step up to this vehicle, so if you are a shorter person, but everything feels super, super solid, and this vehicle feels boss. So looking at the gauge clusters, this is what I'm talking about. Like in a Q7, you're more likely to have a digital display. That could be a trim thing, but I'm telling you, everything feels so good and so solid in this SUV. You can tell you're sitting up. You can see over the front end. You're not like sitting on top, like to where you're looking like over the hood like it's a cliff or anything like that. But I love this steering wheel. I'm not mad at this gauge cluster. And there's honestly some forgiveness because it's a Lexus. Like, I know this is going to last forever. This is a very clean, polished looking aesthetic. Very easy to use buttonry. We're not doing crazy capacitive stuff. Your mirrors are easy to use, you know, automatic headlight button, heated steering wheel, gas cap. You do have a traditional parking brake, which is crazy in a 2023 luxury SUV. I mean, this isn't even a bottom tier luxury SUV or entry level. There's your hood release. We'll look under the hood. This is a very, very clean aesthetic. It doesn't look the most modern. This is not the biggest screen, but I'm okay with it. You have a Mark Levinson sound system, which is great. You have a little clock here. You know, your HVAC is easy to use. The buttonry here is very nice. Warmer, colder. Vent placement is excellent in here. Here's a nice vent here. Like, I would say this is a very clean and polished luxury vehicle. The touchpad is kind of old school, but like, it's such a clean aesthetic. I can't even hold that against it. And I like this striping in this door here. You can slide this back. In 2023, you should definitely have USB-C, especially in a luxury SUV. But, you know, again, you have your CD player, very, very easy to, you know, get to. You have heated and cooled seats in this thing. Let me show you the sunroof, which is a good size. And this is the cabin. It looks clean. You have captain's chairs. This feels very nice and plush and polished. You got your light here. It's a bright light too. Wow. like that. This is very nice here. It doesn't slide. You grab handle here. Man, this is a very, very nice vehicle. Another thing I forgot to mention is you have a locking center differential. This is push button start. One thing I think is missing is a wireless charging. So that's interesting. It's not really a big thing for me. And I also forgot to mention this cubby here. So you have a pretty good amount of space down here. Not too bad. Everything feels solid. These two guys do slide forward and back. So that's a nice touch. Your cup holders right here, excellent placement. These seats feel very nice. They feel comfortable, somewhat firm, and plus they're a good balance. The bolstering here is nice. They do hold you in place. So they're not like large flat seats that you would see like in a Expedition or a Tahoe. I love this. This is nice. Just very, very clean. Like, luxury does not have to be overdone. Look how large these buttons are. Look how clean this layout is. It's interesting though, because the Japanese, like, the design is not as clean. It's super edgy and there's a lot going on, but you know, the aesthetic in the cabin is different. So you have two captain's chairs here. You have a kick plate there, and there is a little bit of a step up. But sitting here, super, super comfortable. Cup holders right here. Okay, actually not a bad design. I'm making it more complicated than it is. These seats are flat, they're comfortable, and they're somewhat grippy, so you're not gonna slide out of them. I love these captain's chairs. The floor comes up a little bit, but you still have good room for your feet. I wear a size 13. You even have some lighting in this footwell. Man, look at this. It's just a premium feel in this vehicle. All right, so looking at the back seat, there is a button here that you can press and it puts the seating up. And then you can recline the seat there, so that's neat. We're gonna go ahead and climb back here. Actually, I was mistaken. This is a 6-seater SUV, which is fine, you know, these do kind of look jump seaty, but they have good cushion. I don't feel claustrophobic back here. There is a vent right here, which is nice, a grab handle. So this vehicle can legitimately seat 6 adults. The floor is kind of high because it's a truck-based SUV, but I do have some room back here. This seat is pushed up, so this isn't a realistic amount of leg room. You don't have a ton of leg room back here. So honestly, I would have a little bit of trouble. You know, you can recline the seat that way. You have a very shallow cup holder here, but sitting behind this seat is not going to be an option for me. So these seats do slide forward and back, but like, interior volume is not really a super strength of this vehicle, but I love the placement of this window. You have a speaker here. And so honestly, you can fit 6 adults if the back 2 are smaller. And when you have said adults back here, you do not have much room behind this tailgate. So we'll check that out. I forgot to point out, you have charging ports here, USB-A, and it looks like these 2 seats are heated. So I could pull this seat up a little bit to give myself a little leg room back here in this 3rd row. So you could fit, you know, 2 adults back there. Like, the accommodations are nice. You're just not gonna have room for luggage. But let's go ahead and check that out. These doors do feel solid. They close solidly. They don't feel unnecessarily, you know, heavy and cumbersome. All right, and one thing that is kind of OG on the back of this vehicle is the clear lights in back. That is definitely like 2000s. So you can pop open the glass with that button there. Go ahead and close this. Oh my gosh, folks, I forgot. You have to grab this, and it has an old school tailgate. So this is not the most practical design. So the one that comes up gives you more room. You definitely need a lot of space to open this hatch. And here's kind of what you're working with. So again, this lends to understanding what type of vehicle you're getting. So this is so you can drive 6 adults around, but this isn't a road trip for 6 adults. So you can fold this seat down or fold both of these down and have, you know, ample space for a road trip, for a 4-hour trip to Dallas or something like that with some carry-ons. This door definitely feels solid, but yeah, that's an old school hydraulic situation, and you know, they haven't changed it. And by the way, these wheels are super, super clean. I love them. This is like the perfect wheel size. You know, we're not trying to be in like a music video or anything like that. And here's the magic right here. So you have this 4.6 liter, just workhorse of an engine. You can change your own battery. You can change your own air box. You know, it still probably needs to be serviced by the dealer, but it's not going to give you a ton of headaches. And this vehicle does have all-wheel drive, so it's very, very capable. I mean, you're not going to be rock crawling. The front end, you know, is not that high off the ground, but still a ton of, this is a great all-around SUV with versatility, durability, luxury, comfort, performance, and then also longevity. Folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap the video up here. Thank you for watching. And I just have to say, this is such a dope SUV that I can't say enough good things about it. In this particular point in the video, I'm showing you this other version. This is a 2021. It looks just as nice. This vehicle kind of reminds me of an iPhone in that you can have one that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and it still remains relatively the same with some minor refreshes and updates. No, it's not the flashiest. No, it doesn't have the most modern tech with LED interior lighting, but it just lasts forever. I mean, it has so much utility, and you just don't have to worry about it breaking or these intricacies that you have to kind of watch out for and diagnose. So I highly recommend checking one of these out. You know, again, what you don't spend in just upkeep and maintenance, you can apply to the gas tank because it does not give good gas mileage. All right, folks, and even things like the air suspension in this vehicle last a very, very long time. It's similar to the iPhone in that anything Toyota puts in this vehicle is well done and not half-baked at all. I remember my first experience driving one of these. I was doing valet parking in like 2005 or 6, and somebody had a GX460, and I was like, wow, this thing's going to be big and cumbersome. It was so comfortable and luxurious and still easy to drive. I fell in love back then, and I'm still in love to this day. The only thing I'm disappointed about with Toyota is the engine. So about 15 years ago in 2010, Audi had an A6 with a 4.2 liter V8 engine that put out about 350 horsepower and I think 325 pound-feet of torque. And I feel like 15 years later, or maybe even 10 years later in the 2020, Toyota could have taken that 4.6 liter engine, made it smaller, like 4.2 liters of displacement, given it that extra decade of technology responsibly, and eked out 20 miles per gallon on the highway, 2021 miles per gallon on the highway. They could have kept the same power, 301, 302 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, and just kept it reliable and a little bit more fuel efficient, or given it like an 8-speed transmission to help with that, something like that. And I get it, like they're established, they don't have to do that. People are going to buy this SUV. Those who know. So if you actually check this out, you will be in the know and you will fall in love with this thing. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Thank you for watching. I will catch you all in the next video.